Konnichiwa,
Aloha,
Stickies!
Welcome back to another fun episode of the Stick with Kaji Podcast. I'm Luann.
And I'm Sean.
And you can follow me on Instagram here at Luann Kaji if you want more just behind the scene of what we do when we're not recording a podcast.
Just so you guys know, we're in a different background today. We're not in the same room. Actually, we're not even in the same country. Just like last episode, I'm in Japan. And Luann's in Hawaii.
How's it going there?
It's good. I'm on the last day of quarantine. I think I'm going to be screaming, going outside. I'm free. And you know, the funny thing is I just heard the news starting from March 1st. Japanese government is not enforcing any quarantine for people who vaccinated all the way up to the booster shots. So I barely missed it. But it's okay. It was kind of once in a life experience. I wouldn't say it was fun experience, but it was something.
Hey, at least you're able to explain to people how was quarantine life in the last episode. So
yeah, you know, it's like people going on adventure, right? Oh, I went to Africa, or I went to jungle and explore. It's kind of a similar experience.
Well, I'm glad you only have one more day left. So let's stick to today's episode, which is, since we thought, Sean's in Japan still and I'm here, we thought we should do an episode on just school life. Like how is it different for if you are growing up in Japan versus growing up in America? So I can only explain my part because I grew up in the American school system and Sean grew up in Japan in the Japanese school system. So he's going to explain today the pros and cons, the differences between the two.
Yeah, I came to US when I was 15, right? So I just started high school in the US. So elementary school and middle school, I don't know what's it like. So I'm always learning a new thing from Ryan. Oh, okay, so that's what you do in elementary school. So it's kind of interesting. So yeah, I put together some of the unique things about schools in Japan. Just like US too, we start from first grade, right?
Right, but did you guys have kindergarten? Because there's kindergarten here.
Yeah, kindergarten is definitely, we have a kindergarten. It's separate from the elementary school system.
Got it. I think same here. I think kindergarten, if I'm not mistaken, depending maybe where you're at, it's also not mandatory.
So yeah, so you start out the first grade at the age of 6, so that's the same, but it goes all the way to the 6th grade. So you go to elementary school in Japan for 6 years, and then the middle school is from 7th to 9th, and the high school is from 10th to 12th.
Yeah, so it is a little bit different, right, from the US, because the US, you start from kindergarten, if you go kindergarten through 5th grade, and then the middle school is 6th grade through 8th grade, and then high school is 9th grade to 12th grade.
Yeah, that's right. So high school, usually we have for 4 years, right, in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we only have 3 in Japan. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So because of the timing when I came to US, I actually never graduated from middle school in my whole life. It's a good thing. Is
there anything special if you graduate from middle school in Japan?
We do have a ceremony, but just the fact that if I didn't end up finishing high school, my grade goes all the way to the elementary because I didn't finish the middle school. So good thing I finished the high school. So another thing I thought it was interesting about the school system in Japan is the children are so independent. What I mean by that is starting from first grade, we all go to school on our own without parents.
What do you mean? Walk
to school, from home to school. And then it's a group of children, I guess, gather around in the neighborhood and then go to school together in the first grade and second grade until they get used to it. But then, third and fourth and up and above, they all just go by themselves to school.
But it's the school, it's a neighboring school, right? So it's close by anyways, correct?
Yeah, unlike US, it's all very dense, the housing and the school and the whole neighborhood, so it's easier for the students to walk to school.
I see.
But then for that, it took me 20 to 30 minutes walking from my home to my middle school.
No. Oh, I can't imagine. Even to me, I don't know, maybe I don't feel safe or something, but even if it's 5 minutes away, I don't think that I can just let our kids walk to school by themselves.
Yeah, and actually there is a route that all the students supposed to take to the school.
Uh-huh.
So it's easier for the neighborhood to make sure the students are safe. So unlike in US, it's like all the parents making sure their kids are safe. It's more of like a neighborhood is making sure all the children in that neighborhood, they're trying to maintain the safety. So part of the reason
really
why,
cool.
the part of the reason why some school requires a school uniform is because the neighborhood can watch over them and keeping them safe.
Oh, so you can identify
Yeah.
which school they're supposed to go to.
Exactly. Oh, I'm getting the video calls shortly.
Okay, so Sean is getting interrupted by government, making sure that he's quarantined. So we have to just apply.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Be right back.
Yeah, so just going back to that topic, walking to school and also going back home from school too after school. Each student just go back on their own.
Well, that's independence. But even from day one, the kids don't walk with their parents.
No,
Or
I mean
you
the
kind of
one
gradually-
parent. Yeah, it's kind of gradual thing. So it's a new thing.
Okay.
So for the first graders, so the parent, like one or two parents, just volunteer, and then each day, they chaperone
I see.
the kid. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if it's until like they turn second grade and they go on their own. I'm not. I don't remember, but
At least it's good exercise, because, I feel that a lot of kids these days don't get enough physical exercise.
yeah.
So I think that's good, that you guys get that going to school and then back from school.
Yeah.
Because even now in the U.S. school system, they don't do physical activity in the elementary school, at least where our kids go to school or when I went to school. PE is not every day.
I see.
It's like 2 or 3 times a week, and I wish it was taken more seriously, and I wish it was every day for kids,
Right. I like the fact that there is a sense of community, right? And the neighborhood is really trying to improve it on their own, like trying to help each other. I guess that's something missing in our kind of school system, or just each school district doesn't have that sense of community sometimes.
No, right.
They all feel more independent and they want to just only solely focus on their family. So, and I don't know if Japan has changed and it's different now, but at least when I was growing up, it was like that.
Very cool.
And the next thing I want to talk about is the uabaki.
What?
Uabaki. So once the students arrive at school on campus and then they enter in the building, they're not allowed to bring the outdoor shoes to the inside. So they have to take it out. And each student, they all have their own shoe closet, right, at school. And inside they have inside shoes, inner shoes called uabaki.
Uabaki?
Yeah, uabaki. And you have to switch out the shoes and then you have to wear the uabaki throughout while you're inside the school building. And this is to maintain the school campus clean, right? Because when you walk outside, dirt or in the sand or even dust, it's all under the shoes, and then it may also scratch the floor too. So very often, I'd say 99% of the school have the this required uabaki.
Is it a specific type of shoe?
Yeah,
Is it a sandal, or is it? You
No,
say you
no.
don't want to scratch the floor.
it's a shoes where you can also run too. Because when you have a PE, a lot of times we have the gym inside the building. So
I see.
it's designed in a way that kids also can exercise with it too. So it's not slipper or anything.
Okay. I like that because, I know it's different for every culture, but even for us, right? We take off our shoes when we enter the house.
Right.
Yeah. So I like that you guys have different shoes. You leave it outside and you have an indoor shoe and then outdoor shoes.
Yeah, I think because we have the custom and the history of everybody at home take off the shoes at the entrance, that also kind of applies to school or other places too. A lot of times when you go to Japan and go to like, let's say like you go get massage or when you go get do like a cosmetic stuff, they all ask you to take off the outside shoes and then change to slippers.
Right.
Or even you go see doctors or dentists, it's always like that in Japan. So
I noticed even some restaurants, right?
yeah.
Even some restaurants, when you go in, you have to take off your shoes,
Right.
and then you can sit down.
Yeah, I thought that's something could be implemented in the U.S. too. I just just keep the school clean. And I'm sure that's something that everybody wants. So
Right.
the next thing is also this kind of goes into the independence of the students too. Students, they serve their own lunch.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so what I mean by that is, so we don't, the students don't obviously cook the food. So food is prepared by the vendor who brings in the cooked food already to the school campus, and then group of probably 6 or 7 students go to this location to pick up the food, and then bring it back to their classroom, and then start serving the food to each student.
Oh, okay, I get it now. Okay, so you guys don't eat at the cafeteria. So there's a group of students from each classroom that goes to the cafeteria and bring the food back to the classroom, and you guys eat inside the classroom.
Right.
Got it. Okay. Does the kids rotate?
Yeah.
Or it's just always the same group
No,
of kids?
it's always a rotating because it'll be too much work for the students. So, and I always hate it every time I need to do it, because if you're that person, right, serving the lunch, then for you to eat, you eat last for that day, right? Because after you serve everybody, then it's your turn for you to eat. So I was like, oh.
I'm so hungry that I'm watching people eating.
Right, just
Right. It must be hard for little kids if you have to serve everybody first.
and this happens all the time.
then-
But when after serving the food, there's always leftover. So as soon as the students finish eating their portion, and then they can go back for the seconds.
Oh, so there's always extras then.
Yeah.
So what about the kids who bring their home lunch?
I don't think there were anybody who brought their own lunch in elementary school that I know of.
But I always see so many different types of books where it shows parents or moms anyways and how to make really cute little bento boxes.
So I'm talking about my
So-
school, and there's some majority of the school is like that, and there's some, like, let's say private elementary school. Often they ask parents to prepare lunch, but public school a lot of times is serving the lunch at school.
But what about if kids have dietary restrictions then?
Yeah, that's like a new thing. When I was growing up, that wasn't a thing. We didn't really think about the allergies or the religious reason. Some students need to eat certain thing, and those things weren't really considered back then. But now it's more diverse, even in Japan. So I'm curious to see if it's changed, right?
Right. But do you think when you were growing up that the school lunch option is a healthy option?
Yeah.
Because here, I don't think it's very healthy, I mean, at least when I grew up, right, they serve French fries, pizzas, hamburgers, which all kids love. But I wouldn't say they're the best quality food.
I know. I gained so much weight since I moved to like high school in US. I always go to cafeteria and then do hamburger and chicken finger too, and then put it on top of each other and eat it together. But yeah, so in Japan, there's a nutrition plan every single meal, making sure all the necessary nutrients are in each meal every day. So like vitamins and protein and fat. So kids cannot actually pick and choose which one to get. It's already pre-selected. Because it's all thought through the balance of the nutrition for each meal. So, and yeah, a lot of times teacher gives student a hard time if you don't eat a certain thing, certain dish. So, all right, the next one is another thing the students do in school, and some people is gonna probably say, "Oh my gosh, you guys making the students work." So this is another thing: is the students actually clean the school on their own. We actually don't have a janitor at school.
Not at all?
Not at
Like
all.
no janitor?
No. At least I never seen one before.
What? But what about if there's a big spill?
Yeah, then
Do the teachers do it then?
teachers or students do that.
Oh.
So it's part of the school curriculum. Like each day there is a specific time that everybody clean the school, right? I bring a mop and then start cleaning the floors or wiping the windows and cleaning the restroom too, which is probably everybody's least favorite. It's pretty brutal out there. I think it's a good lesson, and I didn't see it as a child labor or anything. I saw it more of a life lesson for students, because we all have to be like living by ourselves when we grow up, and then we have to know how to clean our place, right? I learned a lot from
Right.
just cleaning the school, and then I know they don't teach that in the U.S. because when I first met Loanne, she had
Hey,
no
why are you
idea.
calling me
So
out?
sorry. But I thought it was kind of funny. It was kind of example that she had to learn her own how to clean. For me, it was part of the growing up in school system in Japan. So I really appreciate it. And also, there's another thing about cleaning the school on your own. Like, you appreciate the building more, and you feel more connected with the building too. As like I was wiping the floor or windows, I guess I see school campus in different perspective, and I have more memory of school and also the building, probably because of the cleaning. I feel like I'm more like seeing
Right.
closer eye or different perspective of school, and that really made me give me more memory of school.
But then you also value, right, the building itself because, you don't want to make a mess, right, at the school because then you know that you have to clean it up later or one of your classmates going to have to clean it up later. So you try not to just leave trash around,
Right. And
right?
yeah, appreciate the school, and also appreciate all those people who do those type of job, right? A
Yeah.
lot of students, a lot of kids wouldn't understand, how difficult each job is unless they try on their own. So I think it's a great lesson for the students, and for them, I think important part of appreciating other is understanding them, right? So I think it's great that the schools letting kids experience that.
Yeah, and I think it is a really good life lesson because as Sean mentioned, I went to college without really knowing, anything like how to clean the bathroom, how to do my laundry, all those things. I was fortunate enough to have a mom who does everything for me. So when I first went to college, I had to Google, how do I fold clothes? How do I wash the dishes? Just basic things that I think all kids should know how to do. I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, I remember Loanne was trying to cook me, I guess, a soup, and then there's a shellfish, right? There's clams. You were asking me, do we use soap to wash them? Wash them?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yes, I wish that I was taught those things. But again, I'm not blaming my mom or anything because, she works so hard to take care of us and she just wanted us to concentrate on schoolwork or, just being a kid. But, I think it is a valuable thing for kids to be taught those just everyday thing, so they can be independent if they have to be.
Yeah, and it's a great segue when they become parents too.
True.
You don't have just there's so many things already becoming parents that you have to learn. But if you already know how to take care of yourself, then I think you're more prepared. So
Right.
yeah. So the next thing is, this is gonna be controversy. This is one of those things because Japan only had mostly Japanese people, and especially when I was little.
Okay.
So all the students are not allowed to dye their hair. They have to keep their own natural hair, right? And some schools are so strict. If you have naturally brown hair, the school may ask you to dye to black.
What?
I know,
But
and
then that's
that became a little
their
big.
natural hair.
Yeah, I know that became a little bit controversy because back then we only had just mostly Japanese people, so I guess even it's naturally brown, they didn't want that. They wanted uniform look. So that was I think it's different now because it's more diverse, but back then it was like that. So now I think if any students naturally have a different hair color, then they don't have to dye it black. They just need to provide the proof that's your natural hair color. So you have to get the writing from
Really?
parents saying yes, my son, my daughter's hair color is this.
But what if you're mixed race, right?
Yeah, then
And
it's
you're
okay.
Clearly, or a different race,
Yeah,
know?
then
You
it's okay.
Clearly have blonde hair or,
But it's harder and harder to identify that now, right? Because there's so many kids nowadays are mixed racial kids, right? Before it was either Japanese student or foreign exchange students, and it was clear division between that. Now there are a lot of kids are mixed race, right? Half Japanese and half something else. So it looks
Right.
like from the look, it just looks like a full Japanese kid, but then the hair color is different, and then there are a lot of cases like that. So, those rules need to be, I guess, updated, and I think it has since I was little.
Got it. So this is just from your personal experience when you were growing up, right?
Yeah.
Just to put it out there. Got
Not
it.
that I wanted
Okay.
to dye my hair back then, so I think it was fine.
Are you sure?
Well, in high school is a different thing.
So this applied to high school too, right? That you can't dye your hair even
Correct.
in high school.
No dyeing hair, no makeup for girls either.
No makeup
No-
for girls
no
in high
makeup.
school?
Yeah, some strict school, they ask girls to have a certain hair, types,
Like hairstyle?
hairstyles.
I don't think that's gonna fly here. I feel like a lot of girls use makeup or
Yeah, definitely no
use
makeup.
different hairstyle to identify themselves to make them stand out among their classmates.
No makeup,
So I feel
no
like-
accessories, no nails.
No accessories, like
Yeah.
no bracelets, no jewelry.
No.
Oh wow. No. What about earrings?
No earrings either. That's big
No,
big
wow.
trouble. But again, I say this, but then in high school is vary, right? It just you have to. Each school have completely different rules, so maybe some high schools are more lenient, but majority of the high school is
Wow.
like that.
I feel as if you guys very value a community sense over there versus individuality.
Yeah, and that's how,
Right?
and it's mixed kind of feedback, right, on approaching that way. You killing the uniqueness of each person, but then at the same time, it provides a sense of the following the rule, the sense of the being part of the community and helping each other and stuff. So it's hard, but I think because that lesson was there when we were growing up, all of us growing up, big city like Tokyo, we remain clean and very civil. It's because of, I think that the foundation is because we all taught this way. And in Tokyo, there's some more vague rules, or just it's more of like a more manners. Everybody still follow it, right? I feel like it's a little bit different from how people are in New York.
True. Yeah, because the first time I went to Tokyo, I was surprised on how clean it is. If you look at the floor, I wouldn't lick the floor, but I mean,
Yeah,
just
please
the
don't.
fact that it just
It's dirt.
looks
It's
really
not clean that much. So
Yeah. Versus when we went to New York City, there's trash everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
right? People just finish eating and they just throw their wrappers on the floor, or there's like a whole bunch of cups everywhere
Right.
in New York City.
yeah, so that's pros and cons of that. Okay, summer break in Japan is also different from US. So in US, how long is the summer break? Do you remember, Lauren?
In the U.S., summer breaks usually around, I would say, 2.5 months.
Got it. So
From June to the middle of August.
gotcha. Right. So in Japan, the summer break starts at the end of July all the way to the
Okay.
end of August. So we only have 1 month of a summer break.
Do you have more holidays within the school year then?
Right, but not the same amount as the US have. Like, US have a spring break. We do have a spring break too, but then you guys also have the winter break too. But overall, I feel like maybe Japan have more school days than US.
But I think you also mentioned that the school term start time is different than the U.S. Because for us, we start, every school is different, right? But we start somewhere in August, like the middle of August or the end of August.
Yeah, for us, New Year starts in April. This is not just a school; it's also the companies too. How the company calculate their fiscal year calculation of the P&L. Those things actually start from April to April instead of the January to January for each year.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and why April? I think it's because cherry blossom. I think Japanese people are so in love with cherry blossom. I think we just always see cherry blossom as a sign of the new beginning.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. So it goes from April to March.
Yeah.
But then in between there's summer break. But then when you come back, it's
No,
still
it's not summer
the
break. We
same
don't-
physical school year.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. We have a summer break during the school year.
Got it. Okay.
And that's why when I first went to US, I was shocked how long the summer break is. Even in Japan, a 1 month break, I thought it was long. Almost forget like everybody's face, my classmates' face during the summer break in Japan for just 1 month, and in US it's 2.5 months. I'll probably forget everything that I learned for that year.
I think most kids do. That's why when you come back for the following year, I think teachers spend the first month or two just recapping, reviewing everything that the kids learned the previous year.
Because for us, it's school.
Because it's been so long, kids are going to forget.
Right. And for us, it's school year, right, during the summer. Versus in the US, it's between school year to school year. For us, it's during the school year where we have a summer break. So we have a massive amount of summer break homework to bring back home.
Oh, you have homework? Oh, because it's the same school year.
Right.
So it's not really a break.
It's a break from going to school.
It's a break from school.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, wow.
And this is kind of the summer break homework is something that really separate students into two groups. Like there's certain groups that they want to finish it right away, right? As the summer break starts.
Yeah.
This group of students wait until the last couple of days of summer, but then they realize it's supposed to be completed throughout the course of 1 month. So there's no way to finish within 2 days. So there's some students just asking their friends around, like,
"Hey, can you help me on this homework?"
on the last couple of days.
Okay, which group are you?
I'm more
Be honest.
I probably just start a little bit later, so I can finish it right before the school starts.
Is it a lot?
It's a lot
of homework, do you think?
And then there's some stuff,
really?
it's like you have to do daily, right? So that's something I hate. I like to just kind of pick a period of time and then finish everything. My least favorite was the diary. Each day you have to document what you did during the summer. And I always do that one at last. That's not something you want to do in the last, right? So I start making up.
How you're supposed to remember?
I just start making up stuff.
What?
This day I did this. I went, and then it's not just a diary. You have to also provide a picture. Like you have to draw it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I don't know why.
What if you just do the same thing every day though? What if you just want to spend your summer break playing video games? Can you just
you can do that, but
say you play video games every day?
Yeah. It's not for grade. I don't think they put like give a points to the in diary. And I'm not really fully understanding like what's the intention of it, but yeah.
I think maybe they just want the kids to just practice their writing skills and just think.
Right.
Instead of just playing all day.
I think it also encourages students to do something, right? Because if you keep writing the same thing every day, it's boring. It's visually obvious for students to, oh my gosh, I haven't really accomplished anything during the summer. I better do something. So
true. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, this is very interesting. I had a little bit of trouble too when I was first. So starting middle school, you need to speak to upperclassmen in polite form. And upperclassmen, we call it senpai in Japanese, and you have to show respect to them, and even like just 1 year older or 1 grade up, you have to talk to them in polite Japanese form, and you always have to bow them every time you go across. So it's like good morning, senpai.
Oh wow.
Good afternoon, senpai.
So every time you see an upperclassman?
Yeah.
Oh, that's intense.
It's annoying. Yeah, I know. I think middle school is more strict than high school. High school, I feel like it's a little bit more lenient. The middle school, because it starts on the middle school, and then those upperclassmen just really like that feeling of the just being respected. So I think it's just a little bit more strict. The senpai will call you up after school when if you don't do that, and hey, I noticed you didn't greet today. What's going on?
What? Oh wow, that's intense. It's a different culture for sure.
Yeah, even like a clubs too, right? So I was in a marching band or brass band, right? And when you're a freshman, then you have to like clean everything first, and then just get the instrument ready for the upperclassmen to just pick it up right away and be able to practice right away. So
what?
Yeah,
it sounds as if you guys are in a sorority or fraternity.
Kind of like that. Like for a baseball team, right? The freshmen just wipe the ball before the Yeah, before the upperclassman, comes to the club, so it's all ready to go, right? It's tough. The freshman year is always tough like that at school. And then, the last year of the middle school, you feel like you're king. So
You're like, now it's my turn
yeah,
to relax.
yeah, a lot of people feel that way. I was like, all right, I served my due diligence on the last 2 years. I'm gonna, open my wing wide and be a king.
Oh, wow. So that system you think it's still going on today?
Yeah. So in school, you're supposed to all the way button up all the way to the top, right? So this is a freshman,
Uh-huh.
and if you open it up like this, and you're a freshman, and then and the upperclassman's gonna come, and of course teachers gonna get upset too, but upperclassman's gonna come and like, oh whoa, what are you doing? I think more students are scared of a senpai than teacher.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't do that until I was a senior. Then I was like opening up and like, oh, I was a little bit more confident.
Does this also apply to girls too, or only the guys?
The button thing is definitely for guys only, but I don't know. Girls, I'm sure, have different thing.
I don't know if I can survive in a Japanese schooling system
Do you think our kids can
because of
survive?
that.
There's no way Ryan can survive on this. I think he's, because we raised Ryan a certain way, he's very American, and I think it's a good thing.
True.
So moving to Hawaii was good. I think it's a good mixture of Japan school system a little bit, and then also US too. If I put all our kids into Japan, I think it's too drastic change. I don't think they would appreciate it. So
Right.
that's why, so before we moved to Hawaii, Luann wanted us to move to Japan because I think it's good for the kids to learn language and culture and history, right, of their origin. And it makes sense. And then I was aligned with that too, but then I was wanting to put them into the international school in Tokyo instead, so it's easier for them to get adjusted. Luann wanted to be, and this is also good approach too, but putting kids to the public school right away, thought it's faster to learn. But then now you see all these things. It's a kind of structure in a public school. That's why I was like against it. I would keep telling Lauren, no, they're not gonna appreciate it. They're not gonna like the school like that in public school. It was because of all these rules and things that they didn't grow up with and introduced to all this all once. It'd be too much. So
Right. Because I guess during that time, my mentality was sink or swim, because I grew up in a different country, right?
Yeah.
And I just went here when I was 6 years old. And same thing, my parents just threw me into the public school system without knowing any English. And I was thinking, well, if I can survive, learning a totally different language, a different culture, then the kids should be able to survive. But it is a very drastic change.
I think for kids
more than I expected.
For kids from Japan moving to US and then go public school right away, which I did too, is probably easier to adjust. I say it's less rules and more lenient. On reverse, from US to
True.
Japan, it's a bit tough, I think, for kids.
Right.
And one last thing is the entrance exam. I actually personally didn't take any entrance exam when I was in Japan because I was going public school all the way to middle school, and high school I actually ended up going to in the US. But everybody has to go through entrance exam when they go to high school. And if you cannot pass it, then you cannot go to the school you want, and then you have to end up going to somewhere else that other students couldn't get accepted from the, other schools. So it's very stressful.
Okay,
yeah,
but-
because high school really decides which college you can go to. Right? Some high schools is not really focusing on bringing the students to college. It's more of like teaching students how to do manual labor so they can start working right away. If you want to go to college, then you have to get into the high school that their goal is to bring the students to the college because their curriculum is different. So it's a lot of middle school students are so stressed out trying to do well on the entrance exam. And I went to the cram school too when I was in the middle school, just for fun. And every day I stay until like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in a cram school, studying extra after school.
So when you do this entrance exam, right, to try to go to a high school of your choice, and you're talking about public school, even have entrance exam. right?
That's right.
You're not talking about private school. So this is public school, and you have to take the entrance exam to go to the public school of your choice. But is it close by?
High school technically in Japan is not mandatory. It's not required education in Japan.
Really?
Right. That's why there's an entrance exam. That's why students go to completely different school district. So some students actually take train from different city to go to high school. Some students go to dorm because their house is so far, but they need to go to that school because in order for them to go to the college they want, the students needs to go to that high school.
So if high school isn't required and is optional, so there is a chance you might not even get into any high school?
There is a school that just accept everybody.
Got it.
And those were the school a little bit scary because those, what was it? How do I say it? Punks in those school with like, spiky mohawk hair with just chains and around. So those people go to that school. So it's very scary. Nothing. Just a lot of students go to the school with the motorcycle and don't follow the rule. Those kind of students go to those high school.
Got it. So that means a lot of middle schoolers then really take this exam seriously, right?
Yeah.
You think it's very stressful too on them because then not only do the exam determine which high school you go, you have parents, right? Like really trying to encourage you to study, or else you don't want to go into this high school. You better get this certain grade so you can go to the high school of your choice.
Yeah, and it's not like a surprise for the parents or students like what educational level you are compared to other students, right? In middle school, they give you not only the grade, but then also a chart showing where you are among others. So you can make a better choice of which school to choose, and also how much you need to study harder to get into the school you want. So throughout the course of 3 years in the middle school, you know where you are at each point compared to others. And
I see.
it gives you an opportunity for you to study harder if you need to.
Is the high school just based on your entrance exam, or does it take other extracurricular thing into consideration?
Yeah, so if you're a member of a school council and you were like a class president, then that's highly added points for their consideration. But there are two ways to enter the high school. One is majority of the people just through the entrance exam, right? And then have a good grade. Second is the recommendation. If you're a good student, maintaining a good grade, and have a good reference from a teacher, and have good extracurricular activities, then you can get the reference.
Right.
And then you can be accepted through that too. They only accept a certain amount of students. So it's very selective and competitive, but top students get into that. And usually they accept students earlier than the entrance exam time through the reference. Those students don't need to stress out too much toward the end of the third year in the middle school.
I see.
Because they already know they got accepted.
Sports?
Sports too. Sports recommendations also very popular too. There are a lot of high school very popular or a strong sports team, athlete team, like baseball and soccer and tennis. The high schools actually have a recruiter looking actively for the good candidates for them to recruit. And so they go to middle school, school practice for their clubs, and then they check and see who would be a good candidate.
I see. So it's just like applying for college, right?
Very similar.
You can apply to multiple schools.
I think you can apply to multiple schools.
Is there an interview process? Do you know?
Oh yeah, if you are trying to be accepted through the reference, right, for recommendation, then you have to go through the interview too.
I see. Oh wow.
That's it for the unique thing about Japanese school. I'm really curious to see what you guys thought about it.
Yeah, there's so many that I didn't know. I mean, you told me some of it before, right? But I didn't know about no makeup thing in high school. I don't know why.
So I didn't know that's a big deal to you. That's a big deal to you. Okay, I say no makeup thing, but I know for the fact there are a lot of girls just put like very light makeup on.
Oh, I see.
And there's a lot of students getting in trouble putting too much makeup on. So maybe they learn how to put like a very natural makeup, maybe. But yeah.
Got it. Yeah, so thanks for sharing. So that concludes our episode. Before we end, of course, we got to do the
keyword of the day.
Yay, which is, what word do you want today, Sean?
School.
School. I was thinking the same thing.
So the sticky word of the day, usually Lauren and I just, we don't plan ahead, right? We don't really talk about like which word to go. But usually we're thinking exact same word. We're thinking.
Yeah.
All right. So school in Japanese is 学校.
学校.
Yeah, 学校.
And how do you say school in Vietnamese, you ask? It is June.
June.
June. Yes.
It's like
June.
like the month of June.
Kind of, I guess. June.
June.
You kind of have to go up and then down. Like
June.
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 All right, guys. So that's conclude our episode of the Stick with Kaji podcast. If you like it, give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe for more fun content. Again, you can follow me on Instagram here at Loanne Kaji. Let us know what other topics we should talk about in the next episode. And don't forget, you can also listen to our podcast on wherever you listen to podcasts, like Apple, Google, Spotify, etc. Etica. Any last words, Sean?
Yeah. I think I'm going to be screaming, going outside. I'm free.
Oh, yeah. So if you guys haven't checked out the last episode, Sean talks about his quarantine life. There were some ups, there's some downs, there's some moments where he said he went crazy because he wanted to go out, but of course he can't. So the episode will be up here if you want to click on it, or I'll also have it linked down below.
See, I'm going to be free tomorrow, guys.
Yay, have fun.
All right. Bye, Sticky. Sayonara.
Bye. Have a fantastic day. Bye, guys.